public was invited to become politically active in the struggle against abortion at the Life Tour gathering in Thunder Bay on the evening of October the 7th. The event took place at Urban Abbey, a former Protestant church on Red River Road. Life Tour, which features pro-life speakers supported by volunteers, is on a 20-stop tour across Canada. It began in Moncton on September the 23rd and will end in Vancouver on October the 17th. Their goal is to influence the upcoming federal election with the long-term goal of making abortion illegal in Canada.
What kind of public response have you had during your tour?
Well, as your viewers might know, we've been on tour from Halifax already. This is our 11th event here tonight in Thunder Bay. We hope to end up in Vancouver on the 17th. And the response has been different depending on which venue we were in. We had 3 events in universities. We were at University of Ottawa, University of Toronto, University of Western Ontario, and London. And at those events, there was a lot of people who I would say were inquiring. They weren't sure where they stood on this issue. They weren't sure about the politics of it. And they went away thinking, okay, wow, there is a way forward. There is a plan onto how we can do something, as to how we can do something politically. We're presenting also in churches. Many of those people would call themselves pro-lifers. A lot of them have heard of We Need a Law prior. They go away inspired, encouraged, and they're buying our lawn signs, our decals, and they're really actually taking that next step now to making a difference.
Mike Shooten, the director of We Need a Law, spoke about the need for Canada to enact laws that would begin to restrict abortion with the longer-term goal of completely outlawing it. Canada is one of those 3 nations that currently have no laws restricting abortion, he said. He outlined ways that pro-lifers can influence political candidates and the public.
And have you gotten any media attention during your tour?
There has been some media attention in Halifax, radio talk shows. Southern Ontario, we had some radio talk shows as well as Catholic media and some Protestant media. Not as much as we would have liked. I think that, as again your viewers would know, there's some other issues going on in the federal election right now that have the attention of the mainstream media. But we're doing what we can to inject this dialogue into the narrative that is already existing.
Andre Shooten, a lawyer from the Association for Reformed Political Action, explained that the preborn are human and are persons in the fullest sense, and that can be proven scientifically. Nevertheless, there has been no legal protection for the preborn in Canada since 1988, he said. The personhood of slaves in the American South, Jews in Nazi Germany, and women at one time in Canadian history was also not legally recognized. This allowed injustices against these people, he said.
I'm a pro-lifer, and I find it very frustrating that we have a political party in power. Many of them claim to be pro-life relative to the other political parties in Canada. I suppose they are pro-life, and yet they've done nothing to protect the unborn. What do you have to say about that?
I think that it can be frustrating. But I am a glass half full type of person. You have to be to do this job. We are trying to get people encouraged that progress is being made. And I think that what we're noticing, and more people are beginning to understand, is that if we're going to enter this debate nationally by using an extreme position, such as an all or nothing approach, or we want a perfect law, that is considered a shrill voice, and most Canadians are not willing to engage in the debate. But when we go to them and say, for example, did you realize that sex-selective abortion is legal in our country? People are appalled, and more coming on side and saying, you know what, our political leaders, they need to do something about this.
Devorah Gilman of the Canadian Centre for Bioethical Reform said that the works of darkness must be exposed in order to protect the preborn. She explained in graphic detail how babies are destroyed in their mother's womb, and said that publicly showing graphic pictures of aborted babies can change the minds of pro-choicers.
When we talk about the fact that abortions happen in our country after the stage in which these children can survive outside of the womb, people first of all don't even know that. And when they become educated as to that reality, they want to do something. So what we're trying to do is start from what we have in common and work out from there, rather than letting those shrill voices polarize the conversation and essentially paralyze political leaders.
To learn more about Life Tour, visit lifetour.ca on the World Wide Web.